Hi everyone, this is my speed art. I don't really have a real way I can introduce this. So this is my most recent comic as of me recording this. It's called Good Mood. I think what inspired this comic was just me hearing from one of my friends that someone didn't like me or something, and that I thought was my friend. I think it was just a misunderstanding. I don't know, it's pointless to care about, but in the end it created this comic, which I don't know, I thought it was kind of funny in a relatable sense. I'll say this, my comics aren't that funny, they're more of what I'd call a slice of life or something like that. As you can see here, just outlining it, to the few people who don't know why doing this before a sketch before an outline is good. First of all, to those people, hi, you're the people forced in the classroom who have to watch this on Friday, so good for you. And also, the reason why is because if you just do something like line art first, then things will just look choppy. There will probably be a lot of mistakes. This lets you have a lot of freedom and ideas, and I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm not the best at words, but if you I don't know, see how I've made a lot of mistakes doing this, and it's easy for me to correct them. It's a lot harder to do that with line art. So just do a sketch first. Another thing I'm doing is trying to convey facial emotions very well. I'm explaining this because my teacher, I'm doing this for a class assignment, my teacher's forcing me to explain everything. Another thing you should do is have facial expressions, try and make faces more expressive if you can for making comics. Best advice I can give is eyebrows are probably the best ever for expression. Oh yeah, here's where I start the actual line art. As you can see, I'm trying to be precise and editing it a little bit. It's because it's the program I use, Paint Tool Sci, has a vector line art thing. Vector, it's I don't know how to explain it very well, but it basically means something with infinite pixels or something, and infinite rendering. I can't think of the word right now, but something that you can infinitely zoom in on and it won't look blurry. And also it's very easy to edit with. I don't like using vector for things in general. That's why I will probably never fully use something like Adobe Illustrate, because vector confuses me to the point where I don't even think I could call the thing on this vector. But I don't know. Also, you can see in some areas I edit, I overdo some original places and not follow everything one-to-one, or sometimes I undo something I previously did. That's a nice thing about making comics digitally. If you make any mistake, it can easily be undone because Control-Z exists, and every digital artist will tell you it is a godsend. And that's coming from an atheist. That was a really stupid joke, but I'm sorry. Yeah, so right now, I think I just finished doing his shoes. I'm watching this as I'm recording the audio, but it's a bit off sync because I had to record the audio before I started doing the watching the video at the same time, so it's gonna be a bit off for you guys. Yeah, right now I'm just doing stuff. I'm not good at explaining things, as you can easily tell. Later, oh yeah, I want to say something. For the shading on this, I did it really weirdly. I'll get more into that later. The reason why is because I was originally going to do cell shading, which would mean taking all of your colors, making them, taking all of your colors, and then having one overlay color and set it to like a multiplier layer, which basically just means have it kind of go over in a sort of transparent way. But the problem is that my colors are always too saturated. That's a problem I'm trying to fix, and I'm not good at fixing it. My colors are always too saturated, so it didn't work with this. So normally, as you see while I'm coloring in things now, usually I would do the shading with that coloring in, but since I screwed that up, there you go. So just a note, I shade this. It looks like normal for my comics, but how I did it was weird, is the best I can describe it as. By the way, are you guys liking this music? If you are, that's good. It's a lot of people who follow my videos would recognize it. It's just some music from different Sonic games and stuff. And the upcoming Sonic Mania, I'm recording this on Wednesday, and on tomorrow, in my time, there's like this whole event about Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm excited for that because I am a nerd, and I will fight you on the fact of that. I won't fight you because I'll lose, but yeah. As you can see here, I'm just shading. Like I said, I shaded it weirdly. Normally, like, while I would be coloring the hair, I do the shading at the same time, because I just do, like, I have a whole different color instead of, like, doing, like, cell shading, which I probably really poorly described. But it still looks like one of my normal comics. I just, again, did it weirdly. And I don't know. The best advice I can give for coloring is really just don't do it with the saturation, because that's my biggest problem with my stuff, is that it's really saturated. And the worst part is that on my drawing tablet that I use, it's a lot duller than like on the computer and like what you'll actually see. So then what I'll see, what I think is desaturated, is actually incredibly saturated on the actual computer screen. By the way, I'm using a drawing tablet, if you didn't know. It's called the Parblo Coast 10. I think that's what it's called. It's something like that. Actually, it is that. I just pronounced it weirdly, I think. It has some good sides and bad sides, like all drawing tablets. This tablet is really cheap, which is nice to some people who don't have like a big budget and still want to get into digital art, and you know, want to draw on like an actual screen. But it's a bit buggy, especially with Paint Tool Sci. I actually had to like re-buy it. That's a lie. I had to actually buy it because before I was using an illegal version. But I actually had to buy it because because the trial version was the only thing that worked, so I had to get the full version. The trial was temporary and only worked for like 30 days, so I had to get the full version of Sci, and then and then everything worked fine. I don't have as many brush options. Oh yeah, in Sci, in Photoshop, brush options are a lot different. Also, a lot of people make things like this on Photoshop. I just like Sci, it's a bit simpler for me, and unlike Photoshop, Sci's main, Paint Tool Sci, its main purpose is creating, like, drawing things, even though usually they're a lot more elaborate and a lot better than mine. One of the kids in my class, hi Justin, because I need to reiterate, I'm showing this to my class for a project. One of the kids, like, actually sent me a thing on Snapchat saying, this looks better than Zach's comics. I don't really remember what it was, but I don't know, I thought that was funny. Mean, but it's funny. That's what you get from a Republican. I made a political joke. I'm not sorry. Okay, I'm a little sorry. But, yeah. Oh crap, I forgot what I was talking about. Thanks, Justin. I think my main... Oh yeah, backgrounds. I guess I'll go into backgrounds, because I don't know how to talk. For backgrounds, never, especially with background coloring, no saturation. You shouldn't do it at all in general, but especially now with backgrounds, make them light, and don't make backgrounds too detailed, because then it'll distract, like, with the saturation and with a lot of detail, it'll distract, what the foreground elements and what you're actually trying to show, because, and also it'll be a pain in the ass, trust me, because in some comics I actually did that, make some elaborate backgrounds. I think the best example is, I think my 5th one. It was the first, I don't know, like 6th. It was the first one I did ever with shading. It was the one where I got punched in the face because I didn't like chocolate. I don't know. That was actually one of my favorite comics I've made. Because it looked the best, but... And also, that was the first one I did with shading, but I remember it being pure hell to make. Comic making gets a lot easier over time, by the way. But, alright, here's speech bubbles. Normally what I do for this is I just, like, find, like, a circle, a base circle, and then, like, stretch it out, and that's about it. Another thing is, as you can see here, I just fill in the lines with this. Since I'm almost done with this, I need to say that, thank you guys for watching. That goes without saying. Also, for text, Paint Tool side doesn't have a text tool, so I just have to paste it all in. And actually, yeah, I'm running out of time, so all I can really say is thank you guys for the support. Bye.